In today's video, we're going to be practicing solving equations as well as inequalities. Equations, remember, have an equal sign. There is one set answer, versus inequalities have one of several inequality symbols, and there can always be more than one answer. Let's do an example together. 4x minus 11 equals 13. Well, we remember, to solve equations, we must work backwards. So we solve using order of operations, but in reverse. So we're using PEMDAS, starting with addition or subtraction. In this case, we see minus 11. In order to get rid of subtraction, we use the opposite operation, which is addition. So we add 11 to both sides. We get 4x equals 24. We know that when a coefficient is in front of a variable, for example 4 and x, that operation means multiplication. So we're now on the multiplication or division. In order to undo multiplication, we divide both sides by 4. And we get x equals 6. Let's do another example. In this example, example number 2, we have 3x plus 11 equals negative 4. We notice immediately this is negative 4, and we have addition here. In order to undo the addition, we must subtract both sides, minus 11. From there we get 3x equals, now we have negative 4 minus 11. That's where our integer rules come back into play. When we have a negative and we are subtracting, they're now the same sign and we are combining them together. So we have negative 15 on this side. Now we're left with multiplication or division. Again, 3x, a number next to a letter, is a coefficient with a variable, which means multiplication. We undo multiplication by dividing. Again, our integer rules come into play. A negative divided by a positive gives you a negative answer. Our answer is x equals negative 5. Let's model some equations. For example 1, we have the equation 4x plus 2 equals 10. The way we model, we have 4 x's. So for each x, I'm going to draw a box. For each constant, which is a number that does not have a variable next to it, I will draw a circle. Pause the video to model the equation. We have 4x, 2 constants, and 10 constants on the other side. To model the equation, to solve, we can first take 2 circles away from each side. So we cross out 2 circles. 1, 2. Whatever I do to one side, I must do to the other. 1, 2. Those are gone. What we're left with are 1, 2, 3, 4 x and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ones. So 4x equals 8. Now, instead of dividing mathematically, we're going to group. So we need 2 groups here. I'm sorry, we need 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. 1 x for each group, so if we make 4 groups there, we need to have 4 equal groups here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 square equals 2 circles. And that's our answer. To model inequalities now, we're going to use this example. 2x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 11. Please pause to model. Again, for x's, we're going to use boxes, and for constants, we will use circles. 2x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 11. Please notice these constants are a different color from these constants. Why? Because this is a subtraction sign, so these are 3 negative numbers, and these 11 are positive. So we cannot just cancel these out with these because they are not the same. We must make 0 pairs. So to get rid of these 3 negatives, we make a 0 pair of 3 positives, which is why there's now 3 blues next to the 3 reds. Whatever I do to one side, I must do to the other, so I'm going to draw 3 more positives on the right side. I now have 3 more positives on the right side. So instead of canceling out, I added to this right side. These 0 pairs are now gone. So we're left with 2x equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 2x equals 14. So we must now group these into 2 groups. And I need to make 2 equal groups on this side, which will be 7 each. So 1x equals 7. I'm sorry, 1x is greater than or equal to 7. Now we must put that on the number line. I draw a number line across the bottom of my screen. We solved and said x must be greater than or equal to 7. So we start with 7. We put a few numbers above and below. Because we have the or equal to, that means we're going to have a closed dot over 7. So we draw our dot, we fill it in, and if the answer is greater than or equal to, that means x can be 8, 9, 10, 11, and so forth. So our line will point towards the right.